Welcome back to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and welcome back to the Southern Miss Softball Complex. It's the 2017 Conference USA Softball Championship Game 3 on day one, just underway. And inside the circle is the left-hander, the senior Amanda Wilson, one of the top pitchers in all of Conference USA, working to the top of the lineup, and Paige Carter of Western Kentucky. I'm Josh West alongside my partner Scott Hall. This Western Kentucky team, they're thrilled to be here after winning a marathon 4-hour, 40-plus minute game over a stern challenge from the Blazers of UAB. They won 12-7 in 12 innings. It set back everything about 2.5 hours here today. But Western Kentucky, as Carter sends one into center field, Carter will be retired as Palmer puts it away. But again, Hilltoppers taking on an Owls team, the defending champs and the preseason pick to win the league.
Yeah, they really were. And just going back to what you were saying with the first game, I mean, Western Kentucky, that was just a heck of a battle that they had going on with UAB in the first game. And watching it, you could really tell that both teams were just trying to put everything forward that they had, that they did not want to go home in that first game. And that really does kind of set things back a little bit. But, you know, Florida Atlantic, they're without Kylie Hansen, one of the reasons why they were picked to finish tops in the conference this season. However, they are still a very, very talented team, and one of the reasons right there in the circle is Amanda Wilson.
Amanda Wilson, phenomenal numbers. Third in Conference USA in earned run average, a 1.96 ERA coming in, a 15-10 record. 31st start in her 33rd appearance, 17 complete games, and 66 strikeouts against 48 walks in opponent's bat, just 268 against her. As the count is now to 2-2 on Kelsey McGuffin. We'll talk throughout the night about players like McGuffin, like Carter, like Vaughn, players that literally had 8 plate appearances in the first game. Better than 500 pitches were thrown combined in that first game.
Oh, that's going to put anybody through the work there, and it's really going to test them out here in this ball game to see if they still have the energy to come out against a very talented Owl squad.
Well, there are choppers that are singles, and then there's that particular play by McGuffin right over the bag, hugging just in fair territory down the right field line for a single by McGuffin. McGuffin, who had a double and actually 3 singles, drove in a run, hit by a pitch, walked, reached on a fielder's choice. Again,
that is a
silly. Yes, you're exactly right. It was as if they played a doubleheader already, and this is their third game.
Exactly, and just like we said, it really goes to their conditioning, their energy. How much are they going to have for this game? Because a lot of times you can see a team that will go through something like that, and they will stay energized throughout the rest of the day, even if they have a break.
Well, that's what we've got to do in the broadcast booth. We got to stay energized today. It's a strike here to Brittany Vaughn, and it's 0-2. Vaughn, the junior, 269 hitter with 11 doubles, 8 home runs, and 31 runs batted in. But she becomes a strikeout victim here as she is put away by Wilson as she strikes out swinging.
Excellent pitch there from Wilson, keeping it outside, but a great spin getting away from her. Really got Vaughn to try and chase after it.
Now here's Jordan Mauk. A single, a double. Also reached on a fielder's choice and scored a run and walked. Pops up with 2 outs here in the first. Putting it away is the shortstop Lockton, and that will end the inning. So in the inning, it's no runs on a hit, no errors, 1 left, no score. With the Owls of FAU coming up, you're watching BN Sports. Josh West alongside Scott Hall, back here with you in Hattiesburg at the Southern Miss Softball Complex. And the Owls of FAU looking for win number 36 tonight, the 4th seed in this tournament. And Emily Lockton, the starting shortstop, leading things off.
And this is one of those players right here that has really helped Florida Atlantic get through a tough season, losing your starting pitcher. Emily Lockton's just an incredible ball player right at the top of the lineup.
Yeah, only 18 home runs this year for her, 41 runs driven in, and a .421 hitter.
And 36 stolen bases as well, so she can run it on the base paths.
1-1 pitch, a big swing, and it's now 1-2. Inside this circle is Haley Towers. Towers, the freshman, her 15th start, 24th appearance, a 6-12 record, a swing and a miss by Lockton. Talk about a confidence booster for the freshman in Haley Towers. How about that?
That is an excellent start right there. If you can take down a player who was up for Conference USA Player of the Year in Lockton, a .421 average, 64 hits this year, and just 30th time this year that she has struck out, but still, that is a major start there for Towers.
Towers working to Madison Palmer, and it's in for a strike, and it's 0-1. This is one of 3 teams that some have projected in the postseason with a strong tournament here, and the other being FIU and also the Marshall Thundering Herd. As there's another strike, it's 0-2. Marshall, top 30 in the RPIs at 26. 26 in the RPI, 23rd, 24th, depending on which poll you're looking at. Then there's FIU at 43, and here is FAU at 54 in the RPI. As the 0-2 just barely misses, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. But an Owl program, they won 12 of their first 14 games at home this year. And then rebounded nicely after getting swept on the road at that LSU tournament, and have been solid ever since. A swing and a miss on a wicked changeup. And so Towers comes out dealing, and really, as a Western Kentucky fan, you've got to be on cloud 9 through the first 2 batters at the energy your team has come out to play with here in this game.
Oh, exactly, and that was an excellent time for Towers to pull out a changeup on Palmer, getting her way out in front, being the slapper, trying to get out ahead of it and see if she can try and put one down and poke it out to the grass there, but excellent choice there from Towers to go with the changeup on Palmer.
Here's Delaney Rickey at the plate, called strike, and it's 0-2. PJ Gallardo is behind the plate. Kevin Gramig is over at first. Tatum Stolting is over at third. 0-2 pitch, and just getting a piece of it is Rickey.
That's the first ball right there that they've really made contact with here in Towers, and this is a very good start for Western Kentucky to have your pitcher come out, especially a freshman, with everything that happened earlier. Now, granted, she didn't throw in game 1, so she's a little bit more rested, but still, that's going to give a lot of confidence there.
Towers almost snagged the comebacker, lost her footing, and it's an infield hit with 2 outs for Rickey. So here comes Tatum Buckley now, the starting third baseman.
Buckley's really an all-around athlete because she can also go into the circle for the Owls if needed.
Towers delivers almost another strike, but it's 1-0 to Buckley. Buckley, cleanup hitter, batting .230 for the Owls. Owls team, sparkling numbers, second best earned run average in the league at .211. As the 1-0 just misses, and it's now 2-0. A couple of pretty good pitches again by Towers. They run well. Owls second in stolen bases in the league. And the count is now quickly, though, 3-0. So all of a sudden, this becomes a critical moment after bang, bang, 2 quick strikeouts, little comebacker, little infield nubber, and now a 3-0 count to the cleanup hitter. There's a strike with a fastball, and it's 3-1.
And Buckley does have pop in her bat. No home runs yet this season, but 7 doubles. She has driven in 21, so she does have the ability to try and put it out there in the gap, and then Rickey has the speed to be able to try and score from first base, especially with 2 outs.
So an infield single, a 2-out walk, runners at first and second, and oh boy, here comes the preseason all-league catcher in Alex Miller, who is batting in that 5-hole. Miller comes in the junior batting 276, has 3 doubles, 3 triples, and 23 RBI. And now this is a streaky team. When you hear people talk about FAU, they talk about the big inning. And if you can avoid the big inning with the Owls, you can have some success.
Exactly, and this is a point right here where Towers needs to take the confidence that she built on from those 2 strikeouts to start it off and try and close out this inning and get out of this jam.
5 of the last 6 pitches, though, have been balls. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch, runners going, ground ball to third. Long throw to first, but a bullet. Engelhardt to Gray, and it ends the inning. And so the infield single and walk with 2 outs do not come back to harm. In the inning, it's no runs on a hit, no errors, 2 left, 1 complete. No score between the Owls and the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky. You're watching BN Sports. Kara Brewer, Rebecca Engelhardt, and Morgan Mcilroy. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 due up here in this top of the second inning. Each team with no runs on a hit in the first. And the lefty Wilson delivers a strike. Well, certainly when you look at Wilson, she set the tone in the top of the inning. Towers followed. And solid starts inside the circle for both teams. So pitches up and away, 1-1, and
well, pitching really does help make it. I mean, if you have an offense that can score about 5 to 6 runs a game, but if you have a pitcher and a defense that's giving up about 7 to 8, that's obviously going to hurt you throughout the year. So anytime you can have somebody who can step in and keep their ERA under 2 like Wilson has this year, even though her overall record is 15-10, still with an ERA under 2, that also gives a big confidence boost to the offense when they come up.
2-1 pitch, chopper up the middle. Lockton's got it, flips to first, all wrist. And Brewers retired 6-3. And how easy does Lockton, as an all-league player, make that particular play look?
Just absolutely fluid. It's very quick getting the ball out of her glove, and just the delivery, like you said, just about all wrist, right out, and then bang, there goes the throw to first base. An extreme on target, very accurate player.
She's got to be one of the strongest and one of the best in terms of physique shortstops in this league. A lot of time, tinier player at short. Lockton does not fit that mold. Sharply hit to short. She gobbles it up and gets rid of it so quick to Witt at first.
Well, she knew she had to get rid of it fast because she was sitting back deep on that one from Engelhardt, just a few feet back from the grass. Get rid of it, because even after fielding it, she kind of leaned back just a little bit, taking it off of a good hard bounce, so she knew she had to get rid of it fast.
So many times you'll see a shortstop where that kicks off their heels. Somehow she was able to really vacuum that one in. As Mcelroy takes his strike, and it's 0-1. Both Towers in the bottom of the first, and again here Wilson in the top of the second. They work quickly when they're feeling so confident and when they know that defense is backing them up.
They really do. Not wasting a whole lot of time in between each pitch. They'll get it back from their catcher, take a couple of steps back, come right back up to the rubber, and they're ready to go.
Fastball. And it's 1-2. And Wilson dealing here in the second inning.
The lefty really is not afraid to come inside on these right-handers.
Hit to short again, backhanded, long throw, leaning back by Lockton. She was dominant with Wilson in that inning. And in order go the Hilltoppers in the second. No runs, no hits, and no errors. And so we go to the bottom of the second inning. No score between the Owls and WKU. You're watching BN Sports. Good look at Mia Olson, the designated player, as she steps out of the batter's box to get the bottom of the second inning underway. No score. And Towers delivers a first pitch down low for ball one. Olson, the designated player, sophomore, batting .267 for the Owls. Got a crazy stat for you after this 1-0 pitch. Change-up that drops in for a strike, and it's 1-1. As the RPI, the finish in the league, the seed in the league, the defending champs, preseason pick to win it. Here's the 1-1. In for a strike, and it's 1-2. A, they haven't played many neutral site games this year. B, they haven't won one. 0-3. Could not believe that.
Well,
so
that's what
they're
happens
looking
when
for their first one.
Well, that's what happens when you're able to host your own tournament time after time. When you're in a place like Boca, people want to come play you. There's absolutely no reason to travel.
None whatsoever. I would make that neutral site 0-0 if I had a program in Boca. But I mean, to play a few, as they did, 3, it pays dividends because you've got to go to conference. A swing and a miss as Olson goes chasing a rise ball. 3 strikeouts now through the 6 batters face, but boy, you're making me think of Boca. And, you know, we're getting later in the year. And so we're getting to the end of this season. And boy, Florida beckons, man. I'm ready to get down there. I try to go every summer and get away when it's all over. And
Boca is an excellent place.
Watch some more of this on television. As Lauren Witt up at the plate. Everyday starter at first base for this team. She's also the daughter of assistant coach Troy Witt. So the family connection with this FAU program. She's behind in the count, 0-1. She's just a sophomore, batting .221 on the season. And the pitch there misses low, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, just a slight miss there. Good spot, though, even on the 0-1 count. Very close, but Witt keeping the bat back.
I was really impressed as well. The schedule, though, that the Owls play, the teams that want to come there. Line drive that is just foul. And it's 1-2. Wins over NC State, Michigan State, Tulsa, St. John's, UConn, Arkansas, Memphis. A lot of quality wins on that schedule, and more so, some of those teams are just a name, but anytime you're going out and getting wins over Power 5 conference teams, that's a big one. And then some that don't know softball don't realize how big that win is over Tulsa.
Exactly. Tulsa's a former Conference USA member, and they were a team that was year in and year out. They were a contender to either win the regular season championship or the Conference USA tournament championship. Many times if they didn't win the tournament, they had the at-large bid. John Bargfeld doing a lot of good things there at Tulsa.
2-2 changeup comes in and it hits Witt. Well, that was unexpected. Or no, they're bringing her back. Some of the fans are explaining that to her. I heard of, "You got to go back, honey," from somebody in the stands. Ruthless.
Well, just looking back at the replay a little bit, she did lean into it. You can lean to a sense as long as you don't lean out of the box. And if the home plate umpire deems that she leaned over home plate to be able to take that ball off the elbow, they will bring her back to the plate.
I want to see that. I'd love to see that replay again.
Especially
as you can see,
different from a side angle.
We're holding court right here. We are not convinced. We are having quite the discussion here. And I'm not so sure that that's interesting.
Looking at the replay, I mean, it's just a little bit of a lean, and that's where it really comes into the judgment from the home plate umpire as far as how far out he thought that she went, whether it was enough to be out over top of home plate, because as long as you're still in the box, you're allowed to pretty much lean into a pitch. That was a change that they made in the rules, I think, just a couple years ago. Because they typically said before that even though if you were still in the box, you had to try and get away from the pitch. You had to give some effort to get away from it. But now, if you're in the box, you can stand there, you can take it, you can lean into it a little bit as long as it comes to you in the box. And if he thought that she leaned out over home plate, he's going to bring her back.
Well, he certainly brought her back, and it's now 3 balls and 2 strikes. So it changes potentially how this inning can shape up early. Lauren Witt back in the box and fouls off a strike, and the count stays full at 3-2.
You definitely can't blame her for trying to lean in and take that one. A very close inside pitch, especially on a changeup. You know it's really not going to hurt you that much, and have an opportunity to get a runner at first base.
Payoff pitch, and there is a walk. So Witt was able to battle, hang in, draw the walk. Second walk in as many innings to start the game for Towers. Witt is finally aboard. And Coach Joyce, I don't know if that's a consolation or not, but
your runner still does get there, but unfortunately took a couple more pitches.
She did. First pitch strike to Samantha Legere.
So instead of Witt being hit for the 5th time this season, she instead has walked for the 6th time.
One pitch misses, and it's 1-1. Thoughts about the league here after this 1-1 pitch? This is a young league, a lot of up-and-coming teams. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. This could be a 3-bid league this year. And everybody you talk to thinks that this league, the depth of the league, the youth of the league, the talent in this league is heading to as good as it has ever been. As the 1-2 is line, fair ball into right field. And so going first to third will be Witt as the throw comes in to hold Legere to a single. Runners at the corners now with 1 out as the Owls will bring Amanda Peck to the plate. But on that thought, just how good do you think this league can be, because you've been around it for a while?
This league can be absolutely excellent. It can be one of the better ones in the country as far as softball goes, because you have the talent of the 2 Florida schools in FAU and FIU. You have a few other teams that maybe had just a little bit of a rough year this year, and teams like Charlotte and WKU, they've been up at the top before. Southern Miss, there's a few teams where it seems like there's just a couple of pieces that could possibly be missing to then where you have this incredible intense battle all the way to the end of the season of who's going to get those top couple seeds to be able to have essentially the first day bye in the Conference USA tournament. And then of course that makes the NCAA selection committee really pay attention, because now they have to look at, okay, well, they've got some quality wins, this team has some quality wins, they have some quality wins. Really need to look at, instead of almost always seeming to put in the same teams from the bigger conferences, it's going to make them have to look elsewhere and figure out, does this team deserve to get an at-large bid if they don't win the tournament?
Exactly right. Peck, the starting left fielder, in the hole, 0-1. Junior college transfer. Earned her starting spot. Transfer from St. John's River State. Hits it sharply to third. And Engelhardt did a nice job to be able to look the runner back, to throw a little off target, but give great credit. She stood in there, took the contact, and made the tag.
Oh, great. That was an excellent play because she knew she was going to have to come off the bag to make the catch, and she had to put that tag down very quickly to be able to get the out because Peck was coming down the line quickly.
Legere advanced to second. Now runners at second and third with 2 outs. And the pitch comes in for ball 1 to Emily Lockton. Lockton struck out swinging in the first. Came out extremely aggressive against the freshman Towers. Swing and a miss. And it's 1-1. Well, right now, it seems like Towers has her A game tonight.
Well, and she's been trying to keep it away from Lockton, who stands more in about the middle of the batter's box, but she does still have the reach to be able to get out at those outside pitches. But Towers really has been keeping her guessing on those outside spots and whether or not she can try and make contact.
Lockton just misses there. It's now 1-2. Lockton leads the team in hits with 64, runs with 58. 11 doubles and a triple to go along with those 18 home runs and 41 runs batted in. Rise ball almost skids away that time from Proctor. She did a good job to reach up and snag that one.
Yeah, she had to come up out of her stance quickly to get that inside rise ball. First time so far here tonight that Towers has come inside on Lockton.
2-2, swing and a miss. That is shocking, as much shocking as it is good. Towers on fire to start this ball game, and the 4 strikeouts so far for Towers, and we're going to keep it here at the stadium because we are just seconds away from joining our partners on BN Sports Television, so we're going to keep it right here in Hattiesburg. But in that inning, no runs on a hit, and there were also no errors and 2 left on base. Well, we'd like to welcome everybody in tonight on BN Sports Television. Josh West alongside Scott Hall as we're in between the second and the third innings, and as we're transitioning to the top of the third, it's the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky. They won already today a 4-hour and 40-plus minute marathon in 12 innings, 12-7 over the Blazers of UAB. They sent the Blazers home in a game that went tied at 7 into the 12th after the Blazers had rallied for 4 runs to force extra innings. So here's Western Kentucky, this team that you think, well, they've got to be out of gas. They've got to be out of pitching. Well, all they've done is throw out a freshman who was lights out here through the first 2 innings, and then she's going up against Amanda Wilson, one of the best in the league, all-conference selection, who is dealing for FAU. We've got ourselves a pitcher's duel here, Scott, through the first 2 innings.
Yeah, we definitely do. I mean, Towers, the freshman who did not throw earlier in game 1, so getting a little bit rest there. She has come out, and when you can build confidence from striking out Lockton and Palmer to start the game, and then strike out Lockton again later to end an inning with 2 runners, both of them in scoring position, that's going to really boost you up throughout the rest of the night. So look for Towers to be able to continue to keep pitching very well. And then, of course, Wilson, we've been able to see all season long what she can do.
Well, Wilson already has worked 2 1/3 innings with only 24 pitches thrown. That's how good she has been so far. And here's a Darian Gray here for the Owls. And after Gray in the 9th spot in the lineup, it rolls back to the top with Paige Carter, who flew out to center field in the first. And a strike moves the count to even to Gray. Gray was the hero earlier today. She had a 2-run home run in the 7th. That extended the ball game, meaning that the Blazers were able to come back and win that game. And as the Hilltoppers is the 8th seed, they were able to extend the game into extras, and then Gray clears the bases with a 3 RBI go-ahead double That made it 10-7 in the top of the 12th.
That was some excellent piece of hitting by Gray. I was watching some of it online, and I got to be able to see her really drive that into the gap and, be able to take that little bit of a mistake pitch, get the good drive on it, and be able to get all 3 runs to come in. Just an excellent job by Gray. And when you have somebody like that who's batting in the 9th spot and can drive in 5 runs, that's an excellent day for you.
Rolls her hands over there on the 2-2 pitch, and it's foul. And so for Gray, it's been feast or famine. She had the 4 RBI. She also had 3 strikeouts. And so you can get to her, but if you make a mistake, she's got a lot of power. She can make you pay.
Yeah, 8 total home runs this year, 8 doubles, 31 RBIs now. So very excellent down in the 9 spot. And a lot of times people think that 9 spot isn't that important. That's where you want to put your worst hitter. But if you can put somebody down there who can get these hits, drive in runs, that puts you right back to the top of the lineup. It's almost as if having another top spot because they can roll it right back over and get it back to your playmakers.
Gray earns a walk against Wilson. So Wilson works the first time through the lineup, gives up a hit with a strikeout and a walk. Sent down the side in order in the second. Got 3 straight groundouts to short to Lockton. None were easy, and she made everyone look routine.
Yeah, she really did. Excellent fielder over there. She's not somebody who's just completely offensive minded. She can come out there on the defensive side and make some excellent plays for you.
As first pitch to Carter fouled away, and it's 0-1. Carter's 0 for 1. Flew out to center field in the first. More about this preseason favorite team in FAU. Of course, that was with their all-star pitcher in Hansen, who was injured. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that one misses, and it's 1-1. But I was surprised. I wanted to see how FAU would come out and play tonight because they were coming off a loss to UTEP and a loss to New Mexico State on a 4-game road swing to end the regular season. So kind of just a bad taste in your mouth coming into the tournament.
It can, but this is the type of team, though, that even losing Hansen, they still have a ton of talent out there on the field. And so it just makes things a little bit more difficult. The offense has to work a little bit more. The defense has to work a little bit more as well because Hansen is a strikeout pitcher. And there will be a lot of times throughout a night, throughout a game, where the defense may not have to do a whole lot because Hansen is continually sitting down the batters. But still very, very talented ball club.
Wilson hitting a little snag here in the top of the third. And there is another walk. That time a 5-pitch walk. So back-to-back 1-out walks here in this top of the third.
Looked like Wilson was trying to go with some drop balls, seeing if she can get it to come inside low on Carter, but Carter spotting the spin, not wanting to try and chase after it, instead taking the walk and getting another runner on base. Excellent job there by Carter.
Wilson gets a big swing and a miss by Kelsey McGuffin. So I'm going to throw the first crazy line at you from the game. McGuffin was 4 for 6, 3 singles, a double, had a walk, was hit by a pitch, and reached on a fielder's choice. So 8 plate appearances in the ball game, that first game from McGuffin. This is already her 10th plate appearance in a 5 or 6 hour span, so almost 3 games worth.
Well, and she had a single her first time up, so let's see if she can keep that success at the plate going right now in her second plate appearance against Wilson.
5 hits, it does. If the Hilltoppers can keep winning, they'll have so many hits, they'll have such great numbers and batting averages, could give them a little lean maybe towards an all-tournament team selection.
Exactly. I mean, especially anytime somebody can battle through a 12-inning ball game, and being the 8th seed, where you score 2 runs in the top of the 7th, where it looks like just a little bit more cushion. You give up 4, but then you stay in it, stay tight, keep fighting, and pull off the win like they did. That really can draw some attention.
Well, if you're Western Kentucky, as a ground ball hit towards second, flip to Lockton for 1 on a first, double play to end the inning. Legere to Lockton to Witt, 4-6-3 double play, retires the side, and we go to the bottom of the third, scoreless between WKU and the FAU Owls. You're watching BN Sports. No score in the third game of 4 on day 1 for the 2017 Conference USA Softball Championship. We thank you for joining us. Winner of this game extends their season by 1 game. And, oh, by the way, congratulations. You get the Marshall Thundering Herd and Dixon. Jordan Dixon, the pitcher of the year in Conference USA, awaits the winner of this game. Everybody knows that. But, boy, both of these teams, they still want a crack at her. She is so good. Boy, the record she has set down. We'll talk about her at length tomorrow when the stage is hers. And here's the pitch. And it comes in, and it's now 2-0. And you've had a chance to see Dixon do a lot of special things. We're in for a treat. If fans haven't seen her, they need to tune in tomorrow.
Exactly. Jordan, she's really done an excellent job this year in her senior season to really kind of turn things around, put the team on her back for Marshall, and just kind of carry them through. And so many times throughout the year I saw, whether it was a mistake, she would look into the catcher and, give a little pat saying, my fault, and that's what you like to see, is that that your pitcher has really matured into her role as the ace.
3-0 pitch, and it misses for a 4-pitch walk. Last year, Palmer was the Conference USA Freshman of the Year. She also led the Owls in batting average a year ago, hitting .333, and was first team All-League. She stands now on first base, a leadoff walk, and that leadoff base runner is so critical. So many times, if it's a leadoff walk, it can come back to bite you.
Well, and especially with a runner like Palmer, 40 of 47 stolen base attempts this year. I mean, so she has a ton of speed, and this is where you're going to see a lot of Proctor, as soon as the pitch comes in, jump right up out of her crouch and check Palmer over at first, or see if she's got to try and gun her out at second.
And again, the Owls 108 of 128 in the stolen base department. Palmer takes off, throw to second, no chance. And I'm trying to blink my eyes and wonder, was that real? That is some kind of speed.
Well, part of the reason for that, at least for the delay in the throw, first base umpire has called Palmer out for leaving early. And I was really wondering about that, and the fact that the delay on the throw was so much, because Proctor does have a good arm. And one of the reasons right there can be, did she leave a little bit too early on the pitch?
Left early. So it was too good to be true. I mean, that looked like world-class speed. Sprinter speed and she left early. That's why it was playing with our eyes.
Well, Palmer really does still have that world-class speed, but unfortunately when you can get just that little extra jump, and if the umpire spots it, he's going to call you out. And a lot of times, too, when you have those type of base stealers, the umpires will watch a little bit more often than they might for somebody who's maybe only attempted 4 stolen bases for the season. If they know that somebody has typically been stealing, they'll watch a little bit more closely in how she takes off from first base.
Well, the umpires getting together to talk here. So you've got P.J. Gallardo, Kevin Gramick, who made that call over at first, and then Tatum Stolting, who was behind the plate calling our last game. She's over at third here in this ball game. So whatever they want to discuss, it was a quick meeting. It breaks up quickly. And these umpires and officials in general do not get enough credit. The ones that do tremendous jobs. If they're doing a great job, you don't know who they are.
Exactly.
And they spend so many hours watching film, so many hours in studying their craft and trying to get better. They want to critique themselves and get others to watch them and to get feedback. They yearn for that, and they want to be the best.
Well, they don't want the fans screaming at them all game long, and that's one of the best ways, as you said, that people have absolutely no clue who they are, is when they are making the right calls.
Throw to first, not in time. Delaney Rickey gets a bunt single, and boy, it just makes you wonder now, when you're somebody like Palmer who doesn't have to leave early, she's going to steal that base anyway, in my opinion. Or just give a player like Rickey a chance, as she would have moved you over there.
Well, one thing that they were looking at there for Florida Atlantic is you get Palmer to steal second, then you get Rickey to lay down that little bunt. Now you've got runners in the corners, and you've got speed on both ends.
Ground ball knocked down at short. Lawn throw. I thought it was going to go all the way over to first from the knees that time by Vaughn, which I would have thought would have had no chance. Instead, the play to second, which also had no chance. And does that not go as a hit?
I do believe they put up a hit on
Okay, I was going to say, there's no way that that's going to be a fielder's choice there. So runners at first and second base. Boy, the way Vaughn cranked up to throw from her knees, I thought it was coming across to first.
Well, I think when she started, then she noticed how far Buckley already was and thought, I don't really have a shot. Just try and make a throw to see if you do have an opportunity to get somebody out, and the closer throw there at second.
Can I make a petition, Scott, for numbers on jerseys, front of the jerseys?
I do think that would be.
They can be small. They can be on the shoulder. They can be on the sleeve. You've got a runner in now at first base. That is Sammy Williams, the freshman over there running for Buckley as a pinch runner at first. And here's Alex Miller. Miller grounded out to third in the first. All of a sudden, the Owls have out hit the Hilltoppers 4-1. And the pitch is in for ball one to Miller. Alex Miller was preseason All-CUSA. Catches every game behind the plate. And there's a strike, and it's now 1-1.
Beautiful changeup there from Towers. Her changeup has been working very well tonight, and a good spot there. Started off high, but then dropped right through the zone and just froze Miller.
1-1 pitch popped up over to short. Vaughn's got a beat on it, and they're now 2 away. Speaking of changeups, the freshman lefty sensation, Claire Blunt of UAB. I thought her changeup was working well today. And then one changeup that fans won't get to see this weekend, Kim Croson of Southern Miss. You've seen that changeup.
Yes,
She's got a very good changeup. She'll have another year next year.
The unfortunate thing sometimes when you have pitchers with those changeups is that if it's a little bit off, they're going to be missing it for a ball, they're going to be walking batters, or it's going to be dropping right through where a batter can see it coming and they can pound it out there. But if they get it going where they can freeze that batter, get them to start to swing and then hold up and wonder, is it going to be a ball and it drops through for a strike, that can make for a very long day for an offense.
One pitch misses high, and it's 1-1. Mia Olson at the plate. And a 1-1 count. Runners at first and second, 2 gone. Check swing there on nearly a called strike 2. Boy, look, for a moment that Gallardo was going to call strike 2, but it's 2-1. Was the right call there. 2-1. Still scoreless here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The pitch lined into right field for a base hit. Racing around as the throw is cut off to score is Ricky. And the Owls have taken the lead here in Hattiesburg.
That was a ball that going into right field, Carter really should have come up on, did a nice charge on it and try and gun it in there to have a shot at Ricky. Instead, she just fielded it and tried to throw it back in, just get it back into the infield. But there could have been a good chance there for a play at the plate had she taken that one on the run, come up with a good crow hop and throw it home.
25th RBI of the season for Mia Olson. And so here is Lauren Witt. She walked and was stranded at third in the second and takes ball one. Well, this is where if you are the Owls and you can put together a big inning or put together a 3 or 4 run lead, as the pitch comes in and is hit right back to the pitcher. Towers throws to Gray, inning over. It's a moot point now, but Hilltoppers cannot afford to fall behind tonight. I'll explain why when we come back. 1-0 lead through 3. You're watching BN Sports. Brittany Vaughn, Jordan Malk, Kara Brewer coming up. Meat of the order, 3, 4, and 5 for the Hilltoppers of WKU. Owls scratch across a run on 3 hits, but strand a pair in the third. Owls have very quietly left 6 on base in the first 3 innings.
They have been working on Towers a little bit. She has still been on top of it. Just the 1 run so far. But they've been able to draw a couple walks, get a couple of seeing eye singles, a bunt single there from Ricky. But the defense for WKU still making the plays when they need to.
And that was so critical, that monkey, so to speak, jumping on your back. If you dig a hole here, boy, that emotionally is going to wear on you a little bit. It's a nice swing by Vaughn, but it's right into center field to Palmer. And there's 1 away. That's when, if you kind of get in a little bit of hole, are you going to be able to mentally fight through the fatigue that wants to kind of set into your body there?
And that's what separates the good teams from the great teams. The great ones, if they go down a little bit, they kind of collect themselves together and say, okay, that's all right, let's get this one back, let's fight back through it, and they will be able to make their way. And even in the games that the great teams lose in that matter, you can still see the fight in them and trying to get their way back. You don't see kind of the slumped shoulders as they walk out and the really just dejected look on their face.
Malk had a big game and the win already today over UAB. Malk had a single and a double in extra innings. Also walked twice, reached on a fielder's choice and scored a run. 2-0 pitch in for a strike here, and it's 2-1. Malk coming into this game, tremendous numbers, 307, the batting average, 50 hits, 10 doubles, 12 home runs, 29 RBI. Ground ball, fair, past the bag at third. But I don't know if that time of the diving attempt, if Buckley got a piece of it, because it didn't have much steam behind it. And so we saw Malk check up quickly and not really try to take a turn at all around first.
Well, that time Buckley over there at third, she wasn't that close to the line. She was playing a little bit more towards the 5-6 hole, so something that can creep down the line there and just stay fair can possibly get past the third baseman, as it did there.
Kara Brewer at the plate, and there's a strike, and it's 0-1. Brewer grounded out to short in the second. Oh for 1 in the at-bat, 0 for 1 in the pitch count. Wilson gets a swing and a miss by Brewer, and it's 0-2.
Good curveball there from Wilson, starting about the middle of the plate and then jumps right back outside, gets the lefty to swing after it. Excellent job there by Wilson.
Oh, 2 pitch, and it's now a ball and 2 strikes. You mentioned this earlier, but again, FAU had that success against the Hilltoppers earlier this year, sweeping them as a throw back to second on the ground ball back to the pitcher by Brewer. Gets the force of Malk at second base, so it goes 1-4 on the force. Brewer reaches on the fielder's choice, but now 2 away. And again, when you look at those scores, for the most part, Owls did not have much trouble.
No, I had 7-2, 5-1, 4-1. Very minimal scoring, but that really goes back to what Wilson and Buckley and some of the others can do in the circle and keeping that ERA down, and then also the way the defense has stepped up this season after Hansen went down.
Rebecca Engelhart at the plate here with a runner at first, 2 outs. Pitches in for a strike, and it's now 0-2.
Good spot once again, the low outside corner, just had a nice little drop to it right as it came across.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. As the pitch there misses, and it's 1-2. Engelhart readies. Wilson deals. Runner goes, and the tag just at the right time to get Brewer on the 2-4 throw up to second base. As we'll head to the bottom of the fourth. It's FAU still on top, 1-0. You're watching BN Sports. So a pickoff at second base gets Kara Brewer on a bang-bang play that the Hilltoppers thought was missed. And so here are the Owls of FAU, the 1-0 lead working against Towers. And a pitch comes in and gets away from Proctor. Samantha Leger is at the plate. Leger is 1 for 1, singled in the second, but was stranded at second base.
Now you have to wonder at this point, with the freshman pitcher going down, it's only 1-0, but they have been able to get at her a little bit. Is she still going to be able to keep dealing in the way that she did at the beginning of the game, or are things going to start to slip away just a little bit? And with FAU, that's a team you do not want to let it slip away from, because this is a very, very good lineup.
Towers thought that that was a pitch she wanted. Comes inside now and gets a strike. And it's 2-1. Towers has been so solid so far, though. Change up in for a strike, and the count evens at 2-2. On that, go ahead.
Well, she's done a very good job of mixing in where she throws the changeup, as far as inside, outside, also where in the at-bat as well. So really doing a very good job being selective in throwing that pitch.
2-2. Down and away, and it's now the count full 3-2. She's done her best work against the top of the lineup, getting locked in a strikeout swinging twice and getting Madison Palmer looking. 4 strikeouts against 3 walks. She's given up 5 hits, but just the 1 run earned in the 3 innings. And thrown just 66 pitches. That's number 67, fouled away by Leger.
And Leger's trying to make her work right now. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up here. And Leger just trying to get a nice at-bat here, nice quality at-bat, and get a leadoff batter on base for the Owls.
Payoff pitch one more time. Off speed, popped up. Over to second, where Mcilroy is there.
And that's where you can tell that changeup is still working, because Leger froze just a little bit, then tried to see if she could still get a nice cut after it. Right up underneath of it, popped it straight up in the air. So the changeup's still working right now for Towers. The Owls have not been able to make the adjustment on that pitch.
Amanda Peck now grounded out to third in the second, 0 for 1. 252 hitter entering the ball game with 29 hits and just the 1 run driven in. Takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Peck trying to get on base though and set the table for Lockton.
Exactly, in the 9 spot, if you can get a batter on for Lockton, then Palmer coming up, getting right back to the heart of the lineup, and the playmakers coming up.
Swing and a miss there by Peck, and it's 0-2.
Lockton's one who's going to have to make the adjustment. She hasn't really seen any changeups yet, and that's probably because they know that Lockton could send that one deep off into the night if they do, but she's really been chasing after some good curveballs to the outside.
5 strikeouts now for Towers. Back to the top of the lineup, been Lockton, and Lockton has certainly been baffled tonight by Towers, and says a lot for her.
Well, a lot of times the young pitchers, even though they know they're coming up against somebody who's, an all-conference performer, they just go ahead and go right at them because they may think that the batter up at the plate is thinking, hey, this is a freshman. I've got this. This is going to be easy, and then they can come at him with some really good stuff.
A 1 pitch. A pie, it's 1-1. For Towers, the freshman out of Johnston, Iowa. Her season high in strikeouts, 9 against Evansville. 1-1, lined into right field, reaching up to make the play is Carter. She almost took a step, big smile as she comes off the field. The line out to right field saves a double or a triple. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. 4 complete, 1-0 Owls here from Hattiesburg. Back here in Hattiesburg at the Southern Miss Softball Complex, Marshall Thundering Herd. They'll face the winner of this game. They've had enough softball today. They're heading for the exits. It's getting up to their bedtime. What do you say, Scott?
Exactly. I mean, that's one of the things that even though they don't start tomorrow until 2 o'clock, first pitch time, it's still very important to be able to get that rest because it has been a long season. You want to make sure everybody's fresh and ready to go. And that's one of the benefits of being the 1 or the 2 seed the way the tournament has now been set up.
Oh, 1 pitch comes in and nearly hits Rebecca Englehart. Englehart was standing at the plate when Brewer was picked off 2-4, trying to steal second base last inning. 1-1 in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. I can guarantee you they are going back to the hotel rooms, though, and whether it's their smartphone, tablet, laptop, whatever, they're going to be watching this game.
Oh, exactly, because you still want to take those notes and find out which team you are going to be playing against. If WKU ends up coming back and they get the win, you got to take the notes, okay, who have been the more confident players, the ones getting the hits, how did Towers do if she ends up pitching the rest of the way, or if it's FAU, you have to keep seeing what Wilson's dealing with, and then also, too, what the batters are. Wilson right now, she's really been still trying to work a lot of that low and in spot coming as a lefty pitcher into the right-handers, but they've been letting that pitch go. They have not been chasing after it, so very good eyes there at the plate.
Wilson just 62 pitches thrown. 3-2. Englehart swipes and gets a piece of it to stay alive. Englehart had the 3-run home run in the 3rd inning of the win over UAB. Also walked 3 times, scored 2 runs. Also had a line out to center field on a well-hit ball in the 12th.
Once again, another full day.
Another full day. That 5-run 12th as the payoff pitch misses, and Englehart draws her 4th walk of the day.
This has been excellent pitch selection by the Hilltopper batters because they really haven't been chasing after those inside pitches. And a lot of times when you have a lefty coming in against a right-hander, that can fool the right-handers a lot of times up there at the plate, and they try and chase after that, and they can't get their hands through the zone quite in time. But today, WKU, they've been holding back, they've been taking the pitches, getting the ball calls, and then taking their spot at first on a walk.
One ball, no strikes now to Morgan Mcilroy. And Mcilroy tries to get down a bunt and can't. And it's now 1-1.
Good spot that time from Wilson, recognizing that it's going to be a bunt. Keep it away, keep it low, and make Mcelroy have to try and chase after it.
Mcilroy grounded out to short in the second. Fouls off the 1-1, and now it's 1-2.
Now you have to wonder, will they take off the bunt play here? Because obviously with 2 strikes, she's going to have to bunt it fair, or she's out at the plate, and then there you go. You have 1 out already, and the runner is still at first. You haven't advanced her.
Shows bunt early, pulls back now, swings away, lines it into center field, and it gets down for a base hit in front of Palmer. So Mcilroy swings away, and now runners at first and second base here for the Hilltoppers in the top of the 5th inning.
Yeah, really for Mcelroy that time, showing the bunt early and then pulling back, just using that for a timing mechanism on Wilson. And then once she sees the pitch, she's able to get a good drive on it, put it into center field, advance the runner, and now have 2 on base.
Bunt laid down beautifully, only play to first that time as Witt turned around and threw back to Legier covering the bag. So Engelhardt advances from second to third, Mcilroy from first to second. A base hit here now could give the Toppers the lead as Proctor gets the beautiful sacrifice bunt. She had one of those as well in the game earlier today, but she also had 4 hits.
And then, of course, now who do you have coming up to the plate? Gray,
who's had the hot bat today and takes a strike. And it's 0-1.
Yeah, only 2 hits back in game 1, but they were 2 major hits. I mean, anytime you can drive in 5 runs off of 2 hits, you're doing your job when the runners are on base in scoring position, and that's what the coaches love to see.
Swinging away Gray on the 0-1, fouling it back to the net. It's 0-2. Yeah, this is such a critical game for the Owls. To me, they have the most to prove in terms of needing resume builders, in terms of getting an at-large.
If you come in the first day, even being the seed that they are in the 4 spot, if you lose out on the first day, 1 and done in the tournament before you even get to Thursday when it becomes double elimination, it can make it a lot harder to try and get that at-large bid.
Ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 is pulled foul. So what are your thoughts on the new tournament, the National Invitational Softball Championship? That's going to be neat.
I'm not sure what to think of that yet. I mean, obviously this being the first season, you'll kind of have to see how things run. I mean, obviously most teams will still want to get to the NCAA tournament, but you probably have to wait and see, what the teams are who want to get into it, how they handle it, and how things go.
Fly ball to right field. It should score 1. As the throw comes in behind the trail runner, it's going to go down as a sacrifice fly for Darian Gray. Give her yet another RBI. For her 5th RBI of the day. It ties the game as 1. Engelhardt comes in to score from third. Mcelroy tags from second and moves to third.
And this is now getting to be the type of day for Gray where even if the Hilltoppers lose, she has to be in some kind of consideration for all tournament team to be able to put up this kind of a performance on the first day.
I totally agree. The way she did it with the 2-run bomb, with the 3 RBI bases clearing double, and so, 6th RBI of the day.
And that was a really good piece of hitting there. I mean, yes, it's a fly out to right field, but it's far enough out there for the runner to be able to make it in from third.
Great play by Palmer after Paige Carter hammers a changeup to right center field. Palmer races over to wipe it away, but in the inning, a run on a hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 5th, a brand new ball game, tied at 1. You're watching the 2017 Conference USA Softball Championship. 1-1. Owls and Hilltoppers knotted up. As leading things off for the Owls, it's Madison Palmer, the two-hole hitter. Palmer, Ricky Buckley. As the Owls look for the answer, Towers continues to fill up the zone. 5 strikeouts in the ball game for the freshman.
She's done an excellent job mixing in the changeup with a screwball and a curveball and the occasional rise that have also been working for her. The Owl batters, they really need to try and make that adjustment at the plate, whether it's seeing the changeup or seeing the curve. They have to get some better pitch selection out here.
Ball and a strike to Palmer. Fouls off the 1-1 pitch. It's 1-2. Palmer struck out looking in the first and then walked in the third and then left early trying to steal second base. Would have easily had a stolen base had she left on time. Palmer, though, goes a long way to deciding how this inning is going to transpire. 1-2. Chopped and foul. I was trying to chop it over Engelhardt, who was charging in.
Well, a lot of times slappers, if they know that the infield dirt's a little bit hard, they can get a good hard drive on it into the ground, see if they can bounce it up over top of that third baseman and put it into left field, because a lot of times you know the pitcher's going to stay away from those slappers and make them have to chase the outside pitch.
1-2. Off speed. Put into play towards short and no chance. As coming up to field and throw was Vaughn DeGray, but an infield hit for Madison Palmer. That is speed.
And that's what I was talking about, though, with being able to see the changeup that time. She spotted it. She slowed herself down a little bit more through the box, was able to get the bat on it and get it a slow enough roller out towards short where she could outrun it to first base.
I think Palmer learned her lesson.
Yeah, when you watch the changeup come in and you take it for that strike, she definitely did.
And she took off on time and easily swiped second base. So lessons learned for Madison Palmer. That's bad news for WKU. Runner in scoring position with nobody out in the bottom of the 5th. And you just fought back to tie the game.
And it's the speed of Palmer who's in scoring position.
Bunt laid down, bare hand field, and throw by Engelhardt to Gray. That was a beautiful play by Engelhardt, but he gets the job done. Palmer now is over at third.
And this is what they would have been attempting the last time had Palmer not left early. Put down that bunt, get her over 60 feet closer, now 60 feet away from home plate, and being able to try and get that second run up on the board. Excellent bunt there by Ricky, because even the spot of it right there over by third base, she had a good chance to be able to get on and have runners in the corners.
Tatum Buckley is at the plate. An infield single and a walk. It's ball 1 to Buckley.
Proctor lined up very far on the outside last time, now coming back in.
1-0 pitch misses inside as well. 2-0 now to the cleanup hitter for the Owls. .20 pitch, and the bunt is pushed off the body that time of Buckley. She's got to come back.
Yep, still in the box that time. Luckily for her, she hadn't had that step out of the box yet, but still trying to lay down that quick bunt, because with the power that she has, the defense sitting back, so they're expecting her to really try and swing away. Good choice to try and put down that quick bunt, but unfortunately couldn't get it fair enough for her to be able to try and run past it.
2 balls and a strike, 1 out. 2-1. Buckley checks her swing, and it's now 3-1. You were mentioning Buckley earlier. She's played all over the infield this year, as you said, even a Conference USA Pitcher of the Week nod this year. That's incredible.
Yeah, she's really been able to step up, especially once Hansen went down, having to try and get some more innings there in the circle for the Owls.
3-1 pitch, up and away, and it's a 1-out walk, and runners now at the corners. And so here comes Alex Miller. Has grounded out to third, has popped up to short.
And even though Buckley, no stolen base attempts so far this season, but you have to wonder when you have the speed of Palmer over at third, will they still try and pull off the first and third, see if they can get Palmer to draw off of third base just enough to be able to try and get Buckley to steal second and get both runners into scoring position?
Pitch on the way from Towers, line into right field, a base hit, and the Owls have retaken the lead. And in the process, Buckley able to easily go first to third. And it's now a 2-1 lead for the Owls. An RBI single for Alex Miller. For Miller, it's RBI number 24 of the season. And so the Owls waste no time in retaking the lead. And again, they're back in the same situation. Runners at the corners with only one out as we see it again.
And good base running there by Buckley. As you can see there on the replay, the third base coach calling her all the way, saying, you've got the time, let's get here, get here. Now, once again, 60 feet away from home, another Owls runner.
Mia Olson, RBI single in the third to plate Ricky. Has also struck out swinging. Takes a called strike on the 0-1 pitch, and it's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. The 0-2 pitch is high. So 1-2 to Mia Olson. Owls have out-hit the Hilltoppers of WKU 7-3. 1-2 changeup drilled in the gap. It gets down. A run will score again, first to third, running through the stop sign, and now in a rundown in between third and home and running out of the base pass that time was Alex Miller, and it was out of the base path, or was it?
Oh my. She was almost over into the dirt outside of the grass there to try and avoid the catcher. Proctor is on fire. She might need to be careful right now before the home plate umpire could possibly toss her.
And so the umpire's going to get together here, and time is going to be called. It was going to go down as, I would say, an RBI single. Let's watch this again. Into the gap, so a run is easily going to score. That's Buckley from third. Miller was trying to go all the way from first to score, ran through the side. Now let's watch this. That is almost in the dirt.
She ran just about all the way through the grass there, and she really picked up her coach coming just a little too late down the line. She wanted her to hold up, maybe draw the throw a little bit more, and by the time she saw her, she was already well over halfway between third and home and had to try and backtrack. But the move there to try and elude Proctor as well, I do believe that that was a little too far out of the base paths there.
So what's the discussion going to be here? So we're just watching. We're spectators with you. No sense in speculating. I promise you that Coach Amy Tudor is going to get her money's worth here. So watch it again. I would need to hear the clarification of the rule. Is there something along the lines of, because the catcher made the attempt to make the tag so far out into the field of play? That's bizarre. There's got to be something.
That could possibly be it if it goes down to in the fact that the defender chased her that far out to try and be able to make the tag. So you do have to wonder if maybe that ends up being the call.
This is certainly unique. Alex Miller comes around to score. We'll call it. So that, does that now go down as a 2 RBI single for Mia Olson?
I would believe so.
I would say so.
And we do have a pinch runner in there for Olson, as they have put in number 10, Carolyn Rosa.
So now time is called. Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers want to talk about this. 4-1 the score. And we're going to see a WKU pitching change. As again, we watch it again. This is the play that has everybody in the crowd up in arms. And we hate to speculate, but we just know that you're always supposed to, we think, be in the base paths, but that's why Scott is going to the rule book.
I do remember seeing something earlier this year in a play. I wish I could remember who it was that I was watching, but a base runner between first and second went just about all the way out to the grass and was not called out. And I want to say that basically, as long as something in there with maybe backtracking, I can't remember what it is, but they can go that far outside as long as it's not impeding a defensive player, I believe. And if a defensive player chases them out there, I think they are allowed to be that far out.
So if the catcher would not have chased the runners out?
I think that might be it. If she had stayed in the baseline and then you see the runner come out without the diving effort or trying to chase her there, I think that may be it.
Well,
I'm not sure.
Boy, that's certainly interesting. You're seeing a little bit of everything today if you've been with us here on our coverage throughout the day. Certainly it looks strange. It certainly looks strange. It's something you don't see every day.
But what I'm trying to remember with this is it was a play that Coach Stanton showed the team at one point, showed Marshall Thundering her team at one point in saying that as long as you don't chase them, basically just kind of wait for them to come back and you will have the opportunity then to get the out. So I think the whole thing with the running in the baseline is, I don't want to call it false, but just as long as if you don't chase them, it's essentially wait for them to come back and then you can try and make the tag out. And I think unfortunately there Proctor got stuck thinking that she had an opportunity, and it was a good layout to try and get the tag, but Miller taking just that little sidestep out and around. So I do believe that this may be the right call in allowing her to score.
There you go. Well, I certainly, again, they got together and had a conference, and they were certainly citing their interpretation of something. I would just love to be able to share that if we can find it at some point. I wanted to know what it was, because again, there's so many nuances in the game of baseball and the game of softball. The rules are constantly changing subtly, just tweaks, nothing major overhaul fashion. And well, sometimes if you're not working in that sport as an official, it's tough to keep up.
Exactly. There are a lot of rules in this rule book, and like I said, I really think the whole thing with needing to stay in that direct line between the bases is a little bit of a false belief that they can go out further, but the defenders really need to try and keep control, not chase them, and just wait for them to come back, because you will have the opportunity to try and make a play.
New pitcher into the ball game for this game is Catherine Downing, the Game 1 starter. Downing, her numbers, I have to get those to you here in a moment. For Downing, 15-12 record on the season. Worked a no decision in 7 innings in the first game. Surrendered the lead in the 7th. Had only given up 3 runs through the first 6 innings. Runners at first and second, and a strike comes in to Samantha Legere. Legere a single and a pop up to second. 1 out, runners at first and second. Owls threatening to open this game up as the pitch misses down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And the Owls have opted to go with a little bit more speed on the base paths, with 2 pinch runners coming in, with Carolyn Rosa at second and now Summer Damiano at first.
Damiano for Witt. Rosa for Olson at second. Ball and 2 strikes now to Legere. 1-2 is popped up into left field. Scooting in and putting it away is Brewer. And there's 2 away. And so here comes Amanda Peck. Peck is 0 for 2, a ground out to third and a strikeout swinging. Peck is ready, and the first pitch is in for a strike on an all-speed pitch. Now remember, we didn't see the velocity from Downing after she tweaked her left ankle, plant foot ankle in that first game.
I do remember seeing that. That can be a little rough sometimes once those holes start to form from the pitchers coming in, with that lead foot, dropping it down, and even with the back foot, a lot of times they can really get those trenches being dug coming from the pitching rubber, and so that can be a little rough because now that's the ankle that she's trying to land on as she comes forward, and that can make her a little bit more ginger as she's coming forward off of her drive leg.
0-2 pitch, missing, 1-2. So Peck looking for her first hit of the day, and after Peck, the lineup rolls back over to the top with Emily Lockton, who is due 0 for 3 with a line out to right and a pair of strikeouts. So it was a solid 4 1/3 from Towers, and really, if you get the out on that tag play, then it's a little bit different situation. A runner at second with 2 outs, and it's only a 3-1 ball game. 1-2 pitch. Can't find the zone. It's 2-2. Again, Rosa for Olsen at second. And then the pinch runner as well as at first. Being Damiano.
Peck really trying to get on base, get it turned back over to the top, get locked in to come up to the plate, and potentially here with bases loaded, you have to wonder how would Downing pitch to her, now this being her first appearance against Lockton, if she comes up here in this inning.
Put into play towards second, and over to throw to first, and they're going to call what?
It looked like they called both safe. The runner coming from first to second as well as the runner at first base. That almost looked like just a little bit of interference. Because
that can't be runner's interference?
That's what I was thinking there, because the defender has the right to be able to come up and get the ball. And, she had to hesitate just a little bit, and I think that might have been the issue there, is the fact that she didn't come charging all the way up and possibly get in a collision with the runner. Instead, she hesitated and waited for the runner to go by.
They were calling interference on the second baseman in Mcilroy when you could have gone either way. Could it?
I would think that would be more runner interference, because it can be very difficult for a runner going from first to second to try and avoid the defender, but the defender has the right to be able to try and field that ball.
That's a very strangest play I've seen this year. Was on a ball hit routinely, runner at first, ball hit routinely to third. Throw to first, the runner that took off from first on the contact wanted to go first to third. It was a throw to first, throw back from first back to third. Runner was dead to rights. Interference called on the shortstop. It was not a happy moment here at the Southern Miss Softball Complex.
Oh, I can imagine.
And it was against the LSU Tigers.
Oh, big time competition there coming in, and then that's always a game where, obviously, especially if it's at home, you want to put out your best performance and come away with a victory in front of the home crowd, and yeah, that can make things very difficult.
So it's called interference. Locked in at the plate now with the bases loaded, and WKU in desperate need of an out. Owls, though, maybe a swing away from putting this one away.
Now, Lockton has the ability to make this ball really disappear over the fence. If Downing puts it anywhere close to the zone and makes a mistake, Lockton can really make her pay for it.
I don't think she has right now. Downing perhaps healthy enough to blow it past Lockton. Swing and a miss, though, the changeup working, and Lockton has really struggled with the changeup. And so many times you see the better fastball hitters struggle with that off speed.
And they really can, and that's where they have to be able to see it. They have to make that adjustment at the plate, and so far Lockton has not really been able to do that here tonight. And with the first pitcher in Towers, she kept chasing. Once she would get that changeup that would come through, then there'd be the good curveball to the outside and get Lockton to chase after it.
2-2, nubs it over to short. The little bloop out to short ends the inning, and the bases are left loaded. But in the inning, 3 runs on 3 hits. The lead balloons to 4-1 Owls here from Hattiesburg.
When you're standing on the edge of discovery, what do you see?
We see the ocean. Limitless.
Endless. Filled with possibilities.
It is time to transform yourself at Florida Atlantic University.
A higher education should be more than what you expect.
For those with courage. Be daring. Be bold.
Be FAU.
WKU is more than a beautiful campus.
It's a place where I'm encouraged to get involved.
In the things that interest me the most.
Where I can stay fit and active.
And hang out with the coolest mascot around.
Where I'm encouraged to be a leader both in and out of the classroom.
And where I'm making friendships.
That will last a lifetime.
But don't just take our word for it.
Come and experience it for yourself.
It's all within your reach at Western Kentucky University.
Back here in Hattiesburg at the Southern Miss Softball Complex, we're going to get technical here in the top of the 6th. Josh Wessel onside Scott Hall. Scott, much more of a guru than yours truly. And as
Years of study.
Kelsey McGuffin leads things off against Amanda Wilson. Let's go back to that rundown. Let's go back to that pickle. Last inning, you've got some clarification on that rule.
Yes, the runner's base path is established when the tag attempt occurs and there is a straight line from the runner to the base that they are attempting to reach safely. So even if the runner ends up out of what essentially most people think is the baseline, so in this case the chalk line going from third to home, if a tag attempt is made, even though if she's standing 12 to 15 feet away from that chalk line, as long as she still has a direct line.
McGuffin hits it high and deep to left, and that one looks like it ricocheted off the tip top of the fence and comes back into play. We'll pick up that story in a moment, but McGuffin hammers it and gets the stand-up double.
I think that was literally about 1 or 2 inches away from being a home run. That really hit off the yellow plastic that goes up over top of the chain link fence and bounced back in.
Wow. Talk about getting the breaks tonight for
That's
the
as
Owls.
Close as you can get to being a home run.
Indeed. It almost looked like it hit some part of the scoreboard and came back in, but McGuffin doubles for the second time today. It's her 6th hit of the day. And it's only a 3-run game, 4-1.
Yeah, WKU, they cannot get down yet. This is still a very close game. We can see what they did earlier, 2 runs in the 7th, 3 in the 3rd, 5 in the 12th against UAB. I mean, I understand that this is a very different team, but there we go. Things are happening.
Line drive base hit that took a funny hop and was able to get past Legier, and it's now a 4-2 ball game. RBI single for Brittany Vaughn. And the Hilltoppers making some noise here in the top of the 6th. Well, that was hit so hard right at Legier.
Now, Legier tried to go down to one knee to see if she could field it instead of staying up tall in front and keeping it in front, and it took that hop right over her shoulder and into right field.
Ground ball up the middle. Lockton flips to second for one. On to first, thrown away. And Malk didn't know it and will be content to be at first on a fielder's choice when she thought, when she hit it, that she was dead to rights with a 6-4-3 double play.
Well, at least there, once the throw got away, that was the best choice for her to stay there because it bounced off the face of the dugout, stayed there, so it didn't get away any further, didn't go into the dugout and allow the runner to be able to advance. And looking to see if maybe there might be a pinch runner coming in, and there will be for WKU.
So it looks like Western Kentucky has brought Taylor Childress, the freshman, into the ball game. It is Childress is in, the freshman out of Louisville, Kentucky. First pitch comes in to Kara Brewer for ball one. Now back to the rule clarification. Anything we missed there? How far did we get into that story?
Really what it ends up coming down to is just once, anytime even in a rundown, it says that whenever a ball reverses direction, when the ball is exchanged between defenders, there is a new base path created. And so in this case, I think that since once she stepped out of what everybody thinks is the baseline off the chalk line there and off the dirt, you still have Proctor, and in fact they're showing it here again, you know, Proctor trying to dive out after her. So since the attempt there is made at a tag and she still has that straight line, even if she's about 10-12 feet away from that chalk line, she still has that straight line to home, and that is the new base path that is created.
New base path created. We are educating the audience tonight here on BN Sports. As the 3-0 pitch misses, and now the tying run is on base. The go-ahead run coming to the plate in the form of Rebecca Engelhardt. Runners at first and second. And let me tell you, there are some Hilltopper fans right now that are running on fumes because they haven't heard your explanation of the rule here in the stadium. So it is certainly, actually, I think, fueled this team a little bit, given them a little burst of anger, that anger adrenaline.
Well, it really has. I mean, we saw the way Proctor was just so fired up after they called, first of all, her not being able to get the tag, and then so far out, so many people are taught that the baseline is just this small area that goes in between the bases, and so they think that's all it is it, and that you can't run outside of that. But, you know, just trying to look through all the rules and looking this one up, it really clearly says that a new base path is established if an attempt is made at a tag, and it was there because we did see that, you know, that Miller had the opportunity where she stepped way outside, and then Proctor still tried to dive out and make that tag, so there was still that straight line from wherever she is standing to home plate. And that is the new base path, and she was allowed to score. So when you go back through and you look at these rules, a lot of them are kind of not well known because you don't see it that often. So this was the correct call by the umpires.
2 balls, no strikes. The count now to Rebecca Engelhardt, who was grounded out to short, walked, and scored. 4-2 our score here in game 3 of 4 here in Hattiesburg. And there's a strike, and it's 2-1.
And WKU, they've got a lot of fight right now. We got to see plenty of it earlier today in game 1 against UAB, and they're not willing to go home quietly here on the first day.
Engelhardt fouls off the 2-1 offering. It's 2-2. Engelhardt came into today batting 196, but that homer was her 4th of the season, bumped her RBI number from 9 to 12. And then she's already walked and scored again here in this ball game. Has scored 4 runs today so far. Sharply hit ball. Wide of the bag at third. It says a lot right now what this Western Kentucky team is doing, because Wilson came in with an ERA of 1.96. I mean, this is a team ERA of 2.11. They've got a chance right here already in the 6th with runners at first and second, one out to put on a 3-spot or a 4-spot. Engelhardt bloops up in foul ground, and Witt puts it away.
That was a big second out there because it keeps both the base runners in their spots. They are not able to advance.
Here comes Morgan Mcilroy. Now Mcilroy singled last inning. She was able to get this single. 1 for 2 in the ball game. Looking for that second hit. Strike called.
Good spot. Wilson's still trying to work that inside. Now she's starting to get it a little bit more over the plate. Can the right-handers make the adjustment and get their hands through in time and drive this ball into the outfield?
1-1 in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike now to Morgan Mcilroy. Mcilroy, the freshman out of Madisonville, Kentucky. Wilson, the 2-1, hit well in the right. It gets down. That's going to score a run. And getting to second, throw coming home, play at the plate, and the tag is out, and the Owls retake the lead. So Western Kentucky took a chance. Unfortunately, they rolled snake eyes, but it's an RBI double by Mcilroy, but the inning comes to a close on the play at the plate. 4-3 going to the bottom of the 6th. You're watching BN Sports. Goes down as an RBI single by Morgan Mcilroy. As a 3rd run comes in to score, Brewer was thrown out at the plate as it went 9-4-2 on the tag out at home.
Excellent relay, over there in right field. When that ball just kind of dies on you and you can't quite get in your glove, Ricky, she jumped up quickly, got it back in, and then Legere with the throw home.
Owls lead things off again with Madison Palmer working against Catherine Downing, the ace of this staff, who has had a busy day, and pops up the batter, putting it away, and the out, retiring Madison Palmer.
Good call there by Engelhardt coming over from 3rd. Downing was underneath of it, but a lot of times you'd like to see somebody who has that sight of the ball coming in instead of being directly underneath of it. Engelhardt called off Downing and got under it for the catch.
Here's Delaney Ricky. Infield single, a bunch single, and a run scored. Swings and misses, and it's 0-1. Perfect night right now. Calm, temperatures in the upper 70s. And not as muggy as it might be over the weekend after the rain comes through. It's 0-2. Field in perfect condition.
The grounds crew has done an excellent job today, being able to stick around, get everything done in between each game, and get it to look spotless once again.
Ball and 2 strikes now to Ricky. Ricky looking for the 3rd hit of the game. Owls would love another run.
Especially when they see the fight that WKU has, knowing that they're coming back up in the top of the 7th, and they're going to be gunning to try and get back into this ball game.
With Proctor, their best hitter in that first game. Second best hitter, or arguably the most productive, you could say, was Gray, and then Carter. So that has been the most productive part of their lineup today, coming up in the top of the 7th.
Every once in a while, it really can fluctuate. Your playmakers aren't always at the top. You can really find them a lot of times down at the bottom part of the lineup, and they can do a lot of damage down there, and for WKU, they have done that today.
Ricky trying to slap it down the line and left. It's just foul. Diving effort by Brewer comes up short. Ball and 2 strikes. I keep thinking about how impressed I am that we went to the rule book and found that rule on the rundown, the pickle, referencing one of my favorite movies of all time, in The Sandlot.
Oh, yeah.
1-2 pitch.
We just didn't have everybody coming running over yelling pickle when that one was happening.
Right. It's now 2-2. But going back to the play on the ground ball to second, where it was interference on second base, that was just a tough call.
It really was. I mean, that was one to possibly go either way, but the defender does have the right to try and get there to the ball.
Pop up to short. Vaughn's got it. And they're now quickly 2 away in the 6th. So Downing has got her rhythm back.
Really still seeing the fight out of this WKU team. And you know what, a lot of times people expect they're coming in as the 8th seed. Well, they're going to be one and done. You know, the tournament's over. But, you know, something that Coach Stanton has said to the Marshall Thundering Herd a lot of times is that what you do during the season is you're trying to set yourself up to be great for 3 days in May. Well, now the tournament has expanded to 4 days, so same thing. You're trying to set yourself up to be great for 4 days in May, because then anything can happen after that.
Pitch in for a called strike to Tatum Buckley. Buckley, a pair of walks, a run scored, also an infield single. Pitch comes in, down and away, 2-1. 12 now, 30-plus win seasons for Marshall this year, and the first ever regular season championship.
For Conference USA.
For Conference USA.
Twice in the Mid-American Conference, and oddly enough, with the identical record, all 3 times now, 20-4 in 03 and 05 in the MAC, and now this season here in Conference USA.
It's been a while. I know they're happy to be back in that role.
It is an extremely talented team, and one thing that I talked about earlier, being a team to find that way to win, they've done that numerous times this year. One of the reasons why they ended up on a 17-game winning streak.
Payoff pitch popped up, foul ground. Englehart's got it, and that ends the inning. And so it is at 3 pop-ups in the 6th. Down in order go the Owls. To the 7th we go. Do the Hilltoppers have another rally in them? We'll be back to find out. You're watching BN Sports. Top of the 7th inning here in Hattiesburg. It's an elimination game of the Conference USA tournament on game 1. The third, I should say, of 4 elimination games. As coming up next, it's going to be Charlotte against Louisiana Tech. And the pitch is in for a strike to Proctor. Proctor, Gray, Carter. 8, 9, and 1, but the most productive hitters today for WKU. Wilson, a high changeup, and the count evens.
And you have to wonder, this is Proctor's first plate appearance after getting all fired up on that play in which Miller ended up coming in to score on the missed tag. And, you know, essentially was it the base path, was it not a base path play call. So she's done very well, still staying out behind the plate as the catcher for Downing. Now let's see what she can do here at the plate.
She's doing her best to maintain composure. She has calmed down. She calmed down quickly.
Yeah, well, the third base umpire kind of came over Tatum Stolding and said, you know, just kind of put a hand out and said, you know, easy, easy, calm down, because you never want a player to get too angry to where they get the point where they get tossed.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Proctor. Every batter representing the tying run here in the 7th. So the Hilltoppers battled back with a 2 spot in the 6th. And the count now goes to 3-2. It's full.
Yeah, Wilson still again trying to see if she can work that down and in on the right-handed batters, but they're keeping their good pitch selection there, keeping the bat back and waiting on her to bring it up.
The pitch misses low, and it's a walk, and Proctor reaches.
He has kept a tight strike zone tonight, but it has been tight throughout. So the pitchers have to adjust to it. The hitters for WKU have adjusted to it and being able to allow those ones that are very close, you know, kind of called on the black of the plate sometimes, but he has kept it tight and he has been consistent with it all night.
A Darian Gray trying to put down a bunt and couldn't do it, and it's a strike. Gray sacrificed in the Hilltoppers' first run of the game on a deep fly ball to right that scored Englehart. Walked into third. So a couple of plate appearances. He's been on base once and driven in a run. A 1 bunt laid down, fair. Throw to second, not in time. Owls took a chance. And so Gray reaches on the fielder's choice.
Excellent bunt there, 1 from Gray. Got it just right out in front of home plate, which means the catcher is the one who has to come out and try and make the play. And as we see the replay there, that was the correct call. Proctor slid in safely. So a great jump on the ball there from Proctor to be able to make it safely to second.
It's a bang-bang play. It's a forced play at second, but not in time. And so now the go-ahead run is on base for the Hilltoppers for Paige Carter. Bunt pushed up the first base line, spins foul between the legs of Witt, charging in.
Good call there, especially as Carter is running past her, knowing this could be a difficult play to make. If I pick this up and try and throw it back to first, and of course at that point you have 2 runners now both in scoring position. So good call there, seeing the spin and allowing it to roll out foul.
No balls and a strike. Carter is 0 for 2. Pair of flyouts to center and a walk. Fastball that misses, and the count is now 1-1. Top of the 7th inning here in Hattiesburg. Bunt, a beauty. Witt fields and throws to first, and there's the out. Carter gets the job done. Proctor advances to third. Gray advances to second, and now it's the meat of the lineup. Here's Kelsey McGuffin, who is 2 for 3. A single, a double, and a run scored is also hit into a 4-6-3 double play.
And now at this point she has 2 runners, both of them in scoring position. The tying run just 60 feet away.
The pitch into McGuffin, it hits her. So McGuffin hit by a pitch up and in. So the bases are now loaded for the Hilltoppers here in the 7th. And here's Brittany Vaughn. Vaughn had the RBI single in the 6th. And boy, as we know, the right call was made on the rundown between third and home as we watch this again. Thank goodness for these elbow guards.
Yeah, having that Evo shield just hanging over top of your elbow helps out a lot, and that can give a batter a lot of confidence to be able to stay in and take those hit-by pitches and get that free pass to first.
Fly ball, foul ground, racing in, diving and missing is Ricky just barely. That would have been a big first out for the Owls. It's a long strike for Vaughn. It's 0-1. But again, going back to that play, that rundown. Perceived, Western Kentucky feels like that they were hosed on that play. They weren't. But boy, has it been a powerful motivator.
And that's the unfortunate thing, though, with a play like that, is it's something that you don't see very often. And so everybody's taught the baseline is this imaginary line that goes from one base to the other, but instead it can be some other imaginary lines.
Ball hit well to center, tagging from third and coming in to score, and everybody advancing. It's going to be a sac fly for Brittany Vaughn, and the game is tied as Proctor comes in, and we're knotted up at 4.
And Proctor is fired up. High fives outside of the dugout. She is very, very excited in having this opportunity, starting off the inning with the walk, coming all the way around, getting that chance to score the run and tie things up. The senior catcher doing some big things here tonight for WKU.
So 4-4. The thing about it is right now, with 2 outs, you just get the feeling that this WKU team is not finished. It just doesn't feel like they're finished. As Gray has advanced to third, McGuffin has advanced to second, and the cleanup hitter, Jordan Malk, is at the plate. She's got a single.
That was the other thing. Excellent base running, because a lot of times you can see on a sac fly out to center field, the runner at first might just stay right there at first, but instead, McGuffin took off and took second because nobody was there covering it. Both Lockton and, sorry, a little frozen moment there, Legere, the second baseman, both of them out towards the grass, ready to take that throw in from the outfield. So good heads-up base running there from first to second by McGuffin.
We'll know perhaps after this pitch, but you wonder if Wilson isn't kind of pitching around Malk here with first base open. Called strike, and it's 2-1. Strike zone just got a little bit bigger perhaps. 2-1.
Might have given her the spin on it a little bit there.
In the dirt, 3 balls and a strike, and Kara Brewer would be next, the 5-hole hitter.
Brewer is 0 for 2 in this game, but she did have 2 hits in the last one, also scored a run, so got to be careful if you end up loading the bases for Brewer.
Malk wants to swing, fights off a strike. It's 3-2. Miller, Olsen, Witt for the Owls, who will bat regardless in the bottom of the 7th. 3-2 pitch is in the dirt, and there's a walk, and not terribly surprising. Again, after it went 2-0, you had the feeling. I think there were 5 balls thrown there. A lot of balls thrown there. I'm not sure that should have been maybe over at first base a couple of pitches sooner.
Well, but still, at least on that one, good job by Miller to drop down, block it, keep it in front, and then just kind of stare down Gray over there to make sure that she's going to stay at third. But, trying to fight this off a little bit. FAU, they've put themselves into a hole here. Granted, the game is only tied at 4. As you say, we're going to have to come back up in the bottom of the 7th and give the Owls an opportunity at the plate. But the Hilltoppers with a lot of fight here tonight. And, everybody kept wondering, is it going to be exhaustion? You played 12 innings earlier in the heat of the day. You started at noon. You went all the way almost till 5 o'clock in the evening. So how much energy do you have left? And, well, we've seen a lot of fight out of the Hilltoppers.
Kara Brewer stands into the batter's box. Wilson delivers, and it's a ground ball just wide of the bag at third. That's a fair ball. They're still running.
That is definitely Gray coming in, if not also being followed by McGuffin coming into home, because you'd think 2 outs, 2 bases, trying to score that run and get that extra insurance run before coming back for the bottom of the 7th.
No balls and a strike to Brewer. The pitch called strike, and it's 0-2. And good pitch that time by Wilson. Wilson seems to be unflappable. Western Kentucky has been a team that has been oh so aggressive. No fear in the Hilltoppers. 0-2 pitch. A little check swing, popped up in foul ground. Giving chase and missing was Buckley.
Yeah, Buckley, she got a little bit turned around as she tried to go back for it, had an opportunity, but just couldn't quite find it while looking over her shoulder.
Every time the Owls have done something in this game, WKU has had an answer. Pitch in the dirt. Ball 2 strikes. Brewer grounded out to short in the 2nd.
You know, you hate to bring out the old cliche of this is why they play the game, and it's not why it's played on paper. And even though they're the 8th seed, they're showing that they do belong here in the tournament.
The pitch, swing and a miss, though, there by Brewer, and that ends the inning. In the inning, though, it's a run on no hits, no errors. And so to the bottom of the 7th we go. Tied at 4. You're watching BN Sports. Back here at the Southern Miss Softball Complex, the Hilltoppers, they're a team that, well, they don't care how many innings they play, just as many innings as it takes to win. And so it's for the Owls, Alex Miller, Mia Olson, Lauren Witt looking for a walk-off, or Western Kentucky's going for even more of a dramatic day. Here's a bunt attempt by Alex Miller. Comes up empty, and it's 0-1.
This has definitely been a day where if the Owls do pull out the win, this is going to end up being just a day for the Hilltoppers to remember. Lots of memories, lots of things that they can build off of for next year.
Fly ball, right field, putting it away is Carter. And there's one away. I'm not so sure at the moment that all the momentum isn't with WKU. Now here's Mia Olson. Now she's been a difference maker. 2 for 3, a pair of singles, 3 runs driven in. So she's driven in 3 of the 4 runs, and she only needs to drive in herself to get a win here. Nothing helping though, calm winds. Just a beautiful night here in the Pine Belt of South Mississippi.
Well, right now they're having to try and make sure that Olson is being re-entered because last time she was substituted out for Carolyn Rosa, a pinch runner.
And so the correct changes have been made. Olson is back in. They gave Olson just the single RBI in the last at bat. First pitch is in for a strike. It's 0-1. And how about this young lady inside the circle?
This has been big for her to come in, especially in the situation that she did when it looked like the game was starting to get away, kind of lock things down and then have an opportunity to keep it going, then pitching here very well over the last couple innings.
121 pitches and 7 innings of work and the no decision.
That is a lot
Kelsey
of work.
Ike got the win in extra innings, and the count is now 1-2 to Mia Olson. So couple that with what she has done in this game, she's up over 150 pitches. 1-2 is looped into left field for a 1-out single by Mia Olson. So Olson has been on fire in this game, a 3-for-4 evening so far. She represents the winning run on base now at first, and here is Lauren Witt, 0-for-1 with a pair of walks.
Let's see if Witt can keep the good pitch selection going, being able to take those walks, and if she ends up with an opportunity here for a walk, you get 2 runners on and you keep moving on down in the lineup. You get to Leger and then possibly Peck, both of them with 1 hit each.
Big rip that time by Witt, and did that one fly into the dugout, partner?
Yeah, it definitely did, and a little silence over there, but it looks like everybody's okay.
It certainly gets your attention.
It's never good when you hit it into your own dugout, especially because you know that your teammates are over there yelling and cheering for you, and then suddenly they're having to duck a bullet.
Got a story about that after this 0-1. Another one goes towards the FAU dugout.
This one had at least a little bit more loft to it, not quite the good hard shot that the first one did.
I believe it was Louisiana Tech. It was a sharply hit ball by a Louisiana Tech player into the Louisiana Tech dugout earlier this year at this ballpark. And all of a sudden you hear a loud comment scream from the dugout, and the crowd erupts in laughter. I'll tell you what was said in a moment as the 0-2 misses, 1-2. Racing to the top step of the dugout was one of the teammates going, "Wait a minute, I'm on your team." And the crowd went wild.
As long as you can have some fun with it, then it's always good.
1-2 pitch. Misses high. 2-2.
We had a time with Marshall years ago where one of the batters hit the batter in the on-deck circle with a nice little drill right into the hip, and she just kind of stood there and looked at her and gave her the look of almost the same thing. She's like, "Hey, I'm on your side here."
Diving play made at shortstop by Vaughn. A web gem diving towards the line, as good as you'll see. And on a day full of highlights for the Hilltoppers, they make another one.
And that's where you see the fight right there. Who cares? They don't care that they're the 8th seed. They're in the tournament. They're playing hard. They want to advance on to Sunday. Excellent play there by the shortstop, Vaughn. She really wants an opportunity to try and come back up in the 8th inning.
Leger swings away at the first pitch and fouls it away. And it's 0-1. And well, it's a team in Western Kentucky that every inning the confidence grows, every game the confidence grows, to the point where they say, why not us? If they can get to bed and get something to eat, they'll feel a million times better. 0-1.
Just like I had said earlier with what Coach Stanton would tell Marshall all the time, all you have to do is set yourself up to be great for those few days in May, and Western has done that. They got themselves into the tournament, granted at the 8th seed, but they are fighting hard to continue on to Thursday.
1-1 is in for a strike, and it's 1-2, and so now in a tie game at 4, here in the bottom of the 7th, the Owls have only a strike of wiggle room. The pitch blooped in a shallow center. Easy play for Mcilroy. And for the second time in as many games today, the Hilltoppers force extra innings. We're knotted at 4, going to the 8th. Here from Hattiesburg. It's the 20th inning of the day for the Hilltoppers. And a ground ball hit sharply to short. And it's dug out on the throw from Lockton by Witt. And Engelhardt is retired 6-3. Well, as the day goes on, you've got to think there's a lot of fans around Conference USA pulling for the underdog, for the 8th seed.
And especially with the fight that they have shown, that can be something that will get the casual fan drawn into cheering for this team.
You can't help but not want to see anybody lose this game again. It's what was nice about the game earlier. Western went out and won it. They went out and got 5 runs. Nobody lost that game, it didn't feel like. That's what made that game. UAB left that game, and they didn't have the chin in the chest. They held their heads high. Western went out and beat them. Hanging pitch, that's blooped out to short, front of the bag at second. Quick top of the 8th here for the Hilltoppers. And so here comes Taylor Proctor. Proctor walked and scored that so important tying run. It's why the season continues for Western Kentucky. It was that tying run at the top of the 7th.
And let's see if she can keep it going here.
Swing and a miss there on the all-speed pitch from Wilson.
Going back to what you were saying, though, from the last game with the Blazers not coming off with their heads down, Marla Townsend's an excellent head coach and has been for a long time with the Blazers. She's not going to let her team feel down about that, especially like you said, where they left everything out there, and WKU really just really got it in the end, that they did not just let the game slip away. There weren't several errors there in that inning. They just really got the hits timely and pushed together at the same time.
Called strike, and it's 1-2. And Wilson looking as good this inning as she has all game long.
And she's really needed to try and pick it back up. You know, the Hilltopper batters, 6 hits so far, but they've been able to draw the walks and get the timely hits when they've needed it here late in the game. But, Wilson just needing to kind of calm things down a little bit, get her composure back, and it looks like she has it right now here with 2 away.
All-speed pitch that Proctor couldn't do anything with. Bases empty, 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. So pitch is down and away, and it's now 2-2 to Proctor.
You have to wonder, Louisiana Tech, they have been waiting around all day just to be able to play one game today.
Hit sharply to first. Witt scoops, steps on the bag at first. Proctor retired in a 1-2-3 inning. Owls in a tie game at 4, a chance to win it in the bottom of the 8th when we come back right here on BN Sports. Sets up pretty well for the Owls of FAU here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Back in extra innings are the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky. They won 12-7 over UAB in 12 innings in a 4-hour and 40-plus minute marathon earlier today. And so they're back at it again. They just don't care. Official time of the ball game was stated at 4 hours and 34 minutes, but think they missed a few minutes there. I lived it. I know.
We were watching it, and we definitely saw that it was 4:45 when the game came to a close.
I guess we started 11 minutes later. And my and my partner from the first game, Ryan Rose.
I thought he said he was going home.
He didn't go home. It's his fault. Ryan Rose, who works with the Golden Panthers of FIU. And we're going to have to ban him from the stadium. He can't be around when the Hilltoppers play. Here's the pitch. And it's ball one. But, again, setting up pretty well for the Owls with 9-1 and 2. Peck, Lockton, Palmer. Lockton is 0 for 4, but way overdue for a hitter of better than 420 on the year coming in. And there's a strike, and the count evens at 1-1.
Yeah, the Hilltoppers are going to really have to be on top of their game if they want to get through this part of the lineup and have a chance to come back up in the ninth to see if they can take the lead.
1-1 pitch. And absolutely wanted the call, not getting it on a changeup that time was Downing. And she's got some of the best reactions. Motions are on the sleeve. She is animated. She is fiery. She is passionate.
Well, I like the frame job, too, from Proctor because you could see the ball drop almost a little bit low, and she pulled that glove right back up into the zone.
Bloop out to second base, and there's one away. Well, if somebody's going to get it out of the hands of the Hilltoppers right now, they have to go get it. They're going to have to come up with a big-time play because it feels like all the momentum now is with Western Kentucky.
Yeah, and Lockton coming up to the plate, strikeouts the first 2 times up, and then she's been starting to make contact, had the line out to deep right field that was almost missed on the high line drive that could have gone all the way back to the fence and potentially either double or triple for Lockton, but then the pop out to short. So, Downing, she's going to have to stay on top of it right here against Lockton.
0-1 pitch, keeps it down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. If Lockton were to get on base, she would steal to third, and then they might try to squeeze her in.
That would be the definite game plan, especially if she can drive herself with a double and get out into scoring position.
High fly ball near the line and right, and moving over is Carter, and maybe Lockton a little over anxious, flies out to right, and again.
You do have to wonder if she might be pressing things a little bit too much here. She's in the leadoff spot. She's been the star player, trying to make things happen late in the game and just not quite getting there timing-wise.
And especially with the season hanging in the balance in an elimination game. Here's Madison Palmer taking a strike.
It really is, because if you survive and you make it on to Thursday, you're guaranteed to play till Friday. And so, they're really trying to, as you said, get past this elimination game and keep the season going. And two, if they want to try and have a chance at an at-large bid, if they don't end up winning the tournament, they need to get out of this ball game.
1-1. Palmer bloops it into left. Over third, past short. Palmer reaches with a single, and there's that speed. So, Palmer's going to be running, but what do you do about it? She's already got a stolen base in this game. Could have more, but she left early once.
Well, and so far with Ricky coming up to the plate, the game plan has been trying to bunt it down to move Palmer, whether she gets the steal or move her over to third. But you have to wonder, will they try and go for that now, or will they let Ricky slap away with 2 outs here?
Takes a strike, does Delaney Ricky. She's got a bunt single and a run scored and an infield single and a sacrifice bunt. I would think so. Again, I think Palmer's going to be taking off here shortly. Runner goes, throw up to second, and a stolen base. Incredible. Incredible speed. Now, 42 of 49, and I want to know the 7 times she was caught stealing. Who was throwing her out?
If I remember correctly, I do believe there was at least one at Marshall, Taylor McCord, nicknamed her the Sniper, and she's thrown out 15 runners this year, threw out 21 last year, picked off another 8 runners this year. I mean, McCord's been an absolute gunner from behind the plate.
I don't know which one's more impressive, the fact that she's 42 of 49 or the fact that She's been thrown out by 7 of those young ladies like McCord. Good gracious.
Well, that's the thing, is every once in a while, even the best base stealers, they may get just a little bit of a slip when they try and take off from the base, but also if you do have a very good arm from behind the plate, they make that perfect throw, and the other defender's there for the tag.
Wild pitch, and taking a big turn around third was Madison Palmer. So Palmer goes to third on the wild pitch. Winning run is at third. And this is how you don't want to see this game end. You don't want to see a mistake ended. And so this is where Downing has got to regroup, and it appears that she is. She's taking her time now.
And now do they let Ricky try and lay down a squeeze to see where they might try and make the play?
2-2, popped up. That's the third out, and we're going to the ninth. You didn't want to see another spectacular game end like any type of mistake. So the pop up to short, the second as many at bats by Ricky. We go to the ninth, knotted up at 4. Right here on BN Sports. Darian Gray, Paige Carter, Kelsey McGuffin. 9-1-2 for the Hilltoppers. And a first pitch strike is poured in from Wilson. And it's 0-1. So now it's WKU's opportunity. They've got this little hot stretch in their lineup coming up again.
Yeah, 9-1-2, same thing. Try and get back over to the top of the lineup, get to your playmakers. But then again, Gray, batting in the 9th spot, has been a major playmaker today for the Hilltoppers.
1-1. Gray pulls it wide of the bag at third, 1-2. Gray has the sac fly, the walk, but then had the 3 RBI double and the 2-run homer for 5 RBI in game 1. Well, the go-ahead hit here, if it were another home run, for example, for Gray, that might just go ahead and put her on the all-tournament team.
That would be, I would say that she would have to have a good spot on there. If you end up, if she hits a solo home run here, 7 RBIs between 2 games, that has to put you there. Even if they were to come back up in the bottom of the 9th and FAU get the win.
3 balls and 2 strikes now to a Darian Gray. Freshman out of Madisonville, Kentucky. Payoff pitch is a called strike 3. Gray is punched out. And oh my goodness, the crowd is a fit to be tied.
Well, I think what's getting the crowd here a little bit is he's kept it so tight throughout the night. He's expanded a little bit. That one's still getting just right on the edge of the plate. Now, granted, that has been one that earlier on maybe he hasn't called, but that still is just barely touching the zone. So Wilson getting that spot just right there on the edge.
No balls and a strike now to Paige Carter. Carter is 0 for 2 with a walk and a sacrifice bunt. Swing and a miss. 0-2. And now when it messes with your psyche if you're a Hilltopper hitter, because, oh my goodness, the strike zone in a hitter's mind has gotten a little bigger. Now I've got to be more aggressive.
Exactly, and now you have more space around the plate that you might have to try and protect when you have 2 strikes.
Fouled away. Count stays at 0-2. Hilltoppers tied it with a run in the top of the 7th. And we're trailing 4-1, got 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, and here we are. As the pitch is in for a ball on 2 strikes. There have been weekends this year where the Hilltoppers haven't played as much softball. As this their 21st inning of the day.
Well, but this just shows the fight, and this is, like I said, you hate to keep going back to the old cliche of this is why they play the game, that they don't put it on paper. If they put it on paper, then they would already say, hey, the #1 seed, you're the tournament champion, the thing's over. But this is why you go out on the field, and this is why the game can be so much fun, is when you have a team, the 8th seed, coming up and fighting so hard to try and stay in this and playing against the 4th seed in FAU.
Hit well on a bullet over the head of the left fielder. Racing around first, scooting into second base with a stand-up 1-out double is Paige Carter. And for Carter, it's her first extra base hit of the day, 3rd hit of the day, 1st of this game 3. And she's in scoring position now with 1 away here in the top of the 9th inning.
Just an excellent piece of hitting because, for one, obviously getting that one strike call on the outside, for the strikeout, one before that for Gray, and then even one in that at bat with Carter, just staying in it, staying with the process, and getting a good hard drive on a low inside pitch. Really got the bat down in through the zone quickly, and a good drive right out down the left field line and bouncing off that 200 there on the fence.
So a pitching change, as we're going to see Tatum Buckley move into the circle from 3rd base to pitch. And so let's take a look now at the numbers of Buckley. If I can find those at my fingertips quickly, we'll dig those up. Here they are. Buckley on this season going to be making her 15th appearance, 5th out of the bullpen. An 8-4 record. Excuse me, those are in conference games. I'm going to look at her full numbers. Here they are. Buckley going to be making her 25th appearance, 11th out of the bullpen, a 10-7 record, a 2.39 earned run average. She's worked the 2nd most innings on the team with 120 and a 3rd. Has given up 49 runs, 41 earned on 119 hits, striking out 51, walking 18, and opponents batting a team best 258 against her amongst everyday players. Of course, Kylie Hansen out injured early in the season after a 5-1 start and a sub-1 ERA for Hansen before the injury.
Well, coming in for Buckley's spot at 3rd base is number 5, Caitlin Burke, freshman. So also a switch there in the infield is Buckley having to move over.
Keep an eye on that too. Burke is into the ball game, playing the hot corners. Got to come in a little cold into a heated situation, and the first pitch is a ball to Kelsey McGuffin, who doubled and scored in the 6th, singled in the 1st.
Well, Burke has spent a lot of time out there on the field. She's made 24 starts this year.
Boy, ripped that time by McGuffin, just fouled down the left field line.
And you can just about hear the "oh" coming through the crowd as they see that land just a few feet over to the left.
Well, you certainly can. We'll see if can let you hear a little bit more of them. Our microphones pick up a lot of the crowd, and we'll mic them a little bit more, see if you can pick up a little bit more of them perhaps.
Now Buckley, the same thing now with a right-hander. She's still trying to work that low inside corner, but McGuffin right now keeping the bat back. Very good pitch selection.
2-1 hit on the nose, and that's going to be cut off just shy of the fence. Throw coming into second to prevent a double, but that's an RBI single by Kelsey McGuffin, and it makes it a 5-4 ball game. McGuffin comes through. Palmer was playing almost at the warning track to prevent the double. That would have been a double had Palmer been playing at the regular depth. Carter races around to score. Western Kentucky has scored 4 unanswered runs, going back to the 6th as we'll see it again.
Yeah, just a great drive there. Got down after a low pitch, down around her knees. But as you said, with playing out there in center field, Palmer, she was really in the right spot to keep that from being an extra base hit, but just absolutely no chance to try and get Carter coming into home.
We talk about this FAU team being the defending tournament champions. 2 years ago it was Western Kentucky that won the championship.
Well, they had an excellent pitcher in Miranda Kramer.
Another base hit. This one misplayed and left. And they're going to wave the runner all the way around. The throw comes in off target. And another one scores an insurance run. McGuffin comes all the way to score from third. As it's going to be scored a hit. And then we'll see what type of hit and how it's played out and scored out from that point. I don't
know if you can really give an error on that, because I'm not quite sure if she even touched it. I mean,
that is
really
a double, an
right
RBI double.
Yeah.
Right past Peck by Brittany Vaughn. It is now a 6-4 ball game.
Here they go once again with their fight in the extra innings, but then now they're going to have to keep that momentum going on into the bottom of the inning if they are unable to get any more insurance runs. But,
line drive to second, crawling. Legere to second on her hands and knees to make the tag. Are you kidding? One of the best plays you'll ever see as we go to the bottom of the ninth. 2 runs, put the Hilltoppers 3 outs away from a win, right here on BN Sports.
That's a way to get out of an inning.
It was. It's going to be Tatum Buckley leading off for the Owls here in the bottom of the ninth, followed by Alex Miller, Mia Olson, 5, 6, and 7. And you put the ball back in the hands of Downing. Downing couldn't get it done. Had a 4-run lead in the bottom of the 7th of game 1, factored into the no decision. She gets a chance for redemption in her very next appearance.
Exactly, and that doesn't get to happen very often. And but the Blazers, that's a team you can't allow them to hang around. And of course, the Owls, you can't allow them to hang around either. And Downing, it looks like she's making the adjustment on these Owls batters. She has really been in control since coming into the contest for Towers.
A pop up to second base. It's a 6-4 lead for the Hilltoppers. They have scored 5 unanswered runs, 3 to force extras, 2 in the top of the 9th. They have been the story so far on day 1, and it's far from over.
There's still one more game to go at least after this one.
Fly ball, foul ground, everybody giving chase, and Gray couldn't get to it, and it's 0-2 now to Alex Miller. Miller had an RBI single, scored a run in the 5th. Part of a 1-for-4 day. 4 runs on 11 hits for the Owls. 6 runs on 9 hits for the Hilltoppers, as that one just missed. And again, we're seeing both Wilson and Downing, when they're at their best, just work the edges, work the corners.
They really
have. When they miss, they're still hitting their spots. It's just that they get swings or not.
Well, and that's where we've seen great pitch selection tonight from WKU and FAU. They started to make the adjustment there in the 5th inning, getting those 3 runs scored on Towers, but they haven't been able to make the adjustment yet on Downing.
got a big picture question for you here, Scott. If this league continues to get better, and it is, and it's getting better quickly here in recent years, do you see this tournament adding another day and stretching it back out to 12 teams? And if you have, if this could potentially be a 4-5 bid league, or just really one of the elite leagues in this sport?
I don't know about going to that many teams.
Line drive sent slicing away from the right fielder. This is going to be a 3-baser triple for Alex Miller, and there's the fight of the Owls, the defending champs. Miller comes through as it was able to kind of ricochet around in the corner past Carter, right down the right field line.
And just a little bit of a rough angle there from Carter. I don't know if she quite read it as coming as hard off the bat as it was, but just couldn't quite get there to cut it off. And then unfortunately for WKU, it bounces around in the corner, gets Miller this 1-out triple, and puts her 60 feet away from at least getting 1 run out of the deficit.
Okay, I'll give you another scenario. 8 teams, but a straight double elimination tournament.
I could definitely see double elimination. I think going to 12 teams is a little too much, because that does take away a bit from the regular season. It does still allow for that battle that goes on during the regular season for the seeding, the teams that are fighting for those top 2 spots, at least in the way that the tournament is designed now, because that gives you that first day bye. So I think definitely keeping it the way that it has been.
Fly ball to left field, and tagging and scoring will be Miller. And it's a 1-run game, but the Owls now are down to their final out. But Lauren Witt represents the tying run here in the bottom of the 9th. Sac fly for Olsen. She drives in her 4th run of the game. At the moment, 3 for 4 with a sac fly and 4 RBI. Quite the evening for Mia Olsen.
She has had an excellent night at the plate, doing her job there. Just a good fly ball and getting that first run to come in to score. A lot of times that can be the important one, to get that first run there in the inning and kind of just help keep things rolling along.
You will see some kind of an emotional burst should the Hilltoppers close it out, as a swinging foul off by Witt, and it's 0-2. Owls have different ideas. They've got the tying run at the plate. They're the defending champs, and they're the team that we felt like had the most to prove coming in terms of putting together an at-large resume, trying to continue to build on that. 0-2, RPI in the mid-50s at 54, kind of right on the bubble.
This is still a very excellent ball club. Even if they lose this game, I still think they could have a legitimate shot at an at-large bid.
1-2. Hit into right field. This could do it. Putting it away is Carter, and the Hilltopper fans explode in excitement as the 8th-seeded WKU Hilltoppers have bounced the Owls from competition in the 2017 Conference USA Tournament. And partner, there'll be a new champion this season.
There really will, and that's the unfortunate part for teams on this first day. You lose that one, the season is over. At least at this point, obviously for FAU, they can still wait and find out Sunday night whether or not they will get an at-large bid, but at least for the moment, they don't have that opportunity to try and defend for the title. But you really got to hand it to WKU. They stayed on top of it. They stayed focused. They kept fighting, and I really do think that one play with the rundown in the base path, was it not a base path? And as we looked at the rule book, it was, and it was the right call. That really did fire them up and really get them rolling.
It really did. They fell behind 4-1 in the ball game, and they were able to rally back. They scored 5 unanswered runs to take a 6-4 lead. And so now they will be in action tomorrow. Your prize, the Marshall Thundering Herd, that will be rested and ready to go tomorrow. And so we'll be having a chance to hear from the winning coach in just a moment, as we've got an eye down on our very own Maddie Morris as she's standing by. She's waiting on Coach Tudor again. These games have been grueling. They've been exciting. The last thing they've been worried about was kind of cleaning out of the dugout quickly, but Western, being that they've gone long, they've had to kind of scurry after the ball game out of the dugout to make way for the next team, and so that's kind of left Maddie waiting. And boy, there you can see it. Coach arrives with Maddie down on the field, and we'll go down to her in just a moment as Maddie is standing by. Let's go down to Maddie standing by on the field with Coach.
Go. Okay, Coach Amy Tudor, you guys just like to play softball, obviously. 2 games and extra innings. What do you have to say about the tenacity that your team has shown, not only in today's game, but, obviously just the whole day?
Yeah, we've been here since 10 o'clock or whatever it's been, and they've just come to play softball all day. And, overall, the whole team has responded well, and we're just happy to get that win.
Now, how do you bounce back after a day like today? Obviously, tomorrow you guys are going to face a tough Marshall team. After playing 2 games of extra innings, how will you guys kind of bounce back and recover for tomorrow?
We're hoping to get dinner and get some sleep. And that's our goal. And then we'll face Marshall tomorrow. Obviously, they have a very good team, but hey, you never know.
Well, thank you for providing us with a lot of entertainment today. So, congratulations, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Big Red is certainly happy tonight as the Hilltoppers get it done again in extra innings. They just keep finding a way to win. Final score here tonight in extras once again, 6-5. It's Western Kentucky over the Owls of FAU, bouncing the defending champs. Join us in just about 30 minutes from now. Our final game of the day will pit the Charlotte 49ers against the 3-seed Louisiana Tech. For my partner, Scott Hall, and our entire crew here in Hattiesburg, I'm Josh West. Thanks for watching the Conference USA Softball Championships here on beIN Sports, your home for all things Conference USA.